Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your match reaction. A Manchester United women versus Vålerenga in the UEFA Women's Champions League. Big up to every single one of you who's live and locked in already this evening. Much appreciated. Now, I thought I'll do an earlier evening stream today. So, yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I hope your day's gone good. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying your week so far. So, the Women's Champions League returned on Tuesday. Obviously, there was games on Tuesday night and last night. And obviously, the Women's Champions League is now shown on Disney Plus and BBC as well, because BBC have got the rights to some Women's Champions League matches. That's a lovely cup of tea. But, I'm here to talk about the Manchester United women's game. Now, I didn't watch the game live. I watched it late last night. I watched all the game on Disney Plus because I do have Disney Plus. So I got access to the games. And Manchester United women won the game 1-0. A penalty by Letizia. So, yeah, a winning start for Marc Skinner's side. Now, I was hoping that we would score more goals because we had quite a few chances, but at the end of the day, we just couldn't convert half the time. So, to me, that was a bit disappointing, but at least we got off to a winning start. To get that first win in the bag on game one is absolutely fantastic. And we are the only English team to win so far this week, because obviously Arsenal women drew, Arsenal women lost, Chelsea women drew, and Manchester United women won. So, yeah, to be the only ones to win this week, wow, unbelievable. Now, obviously, they have changed the format this year, people. It is the league phase now, a bit like in men's football now, like what they do with the Men's Champions League. But Manchester United women, they got some enormous ties coming up. We have Atletico Madrid women, and we have, who else is it? Paris Saint-Germain women as well, which, some massive games coming up from Marc Skinner's side. So to get the first win under our belts, absolutely brilliant, because there's no guarantees we will win against Atletico Madrid women and Paris Saint-Germain women. Mind you, Paris Saint-Germain women got hammered. I think it's against Wolfsburg women, and also Atletico Madrid women won about 6-0. So they will be tough for Manchester United women, because the Spanish opposition in the women's game are so hard to beat. Like, unfortunately, Chelsea learns it that way against Barcelona, haven't they? They just cannot seem to get over the line against Barcelona women. Even though Chelsea women have a fantastic squad in that, they just cannot seem to get one over Barcelona women. But yeah, Arsenal women last season, they got one over Barcelona women, because obviously Arsenal women won their second Champions League. So I just want to say big up to you guys in the live chat. Now, Dinosaur Team, big up, mate. Bash, good evening to you. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. Can't believe the women UCL was not on TNT Sports and on TV. But like I said, BBC do have the rights to some matches, so some games will be shown on the BBC. But yeah, it's mainly on Disney Plus this season, because Disney Plus, they won the rights off of TNT Sports, which for some I get is very annoying. If you don't have Disney Plus, that is extra annoying. Looks like Cole Palmer out until November with the groin injury, and he will miss Forest away, Ajax in the UCL, and Sunderland and Wolves in the League Cup. That's a huge blow. That really is Dinosaur Team. I hope Cole Palmer fit from the Spurs game on the 1st of November when Chelsea plays them 3 points in the lane at Spurs. Now, I have to say, the England against Wales game tonight, I'm really not bothered because it's just a pointless friendly at the end of the day. Well, you can call England and Wales a friendly because that's never a friendly, really. But to me, it's pointless, absolute pointless. Just bloody get on with the Premier League season. Yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? Seriously. And all these international breaks, dear me. Look, I know it's a World Cup year and that, right? The World Cup is taking place next summer in America and Mexico. But come on, why do you have to have so many fucking international breaks? To me, it's unacceptable. It's not sustainable. It's like, get on with the Premier League season, please. Seriously, why do we have to keep stop and start for international breaks? Like, fuck out of here, man. Seriously, get out of here. Dear me. The FA really piss me off, people, at times. They really do. I'm glad Reece James pulled out in the pointless international friendly. Yeah, that's good news to you guys. It really is. But Manchester United women, like I said, I'm happy they won the game. But, I was a bit disappointed we didn't score more goals. And I think Marc Skinner would be very disappointed we weren't able to find the back of the net more, because we did have our chances, to absolutely kill off that tie. But 1-0 winners, like I said, the most important thing is we got the first W on the board in our UEFA Champions League debut. So we've made history. So I'm very happy about that. But like I said, against Atletico Madrid women and Paris Saint-Germain women, that will be bloody difficult, people. I'm not going to lie, because obviously Paris Saint-Germain women and Atletico Madrid women can be very tough. I mean, PSG women, I not really saw a lot of them, but I know when we play Atletico Madrid women, we're really going to have to be on top of our game. We really are. So I will get some stats up from last night. Look at the stats. I'm not looking at XG or GA anything at that. I'm having a look at the shot counts and like the shots on target and that. I believe Vålerenga only had one shot on target the whole game. But anyway, let's get the stats up. So I'd like to see if there's any more comments before I continue. Nope, no more comments now. So, yeah, but I'll get it up on screen. Manchester United women. Here we go. Google. Of course, it did come up with Manchester United, but always comes up with the men's team first. Don't want to look at them, mate. I want to look at the game from last night with the women. Manchester United women. Oh, yeah, I'll be back a bit later on today, people, as well. I'm going to be doing another stream. I'm going to be tearing Sir Jim Ratcliffe a new arsehole, because apparently he wants Ruben Amorim to stay for 3 years. So obviously I'm pissed off about that. So yeah, I'll be turning him a new arsehole for that later on. Vålerenga, here we go. Just going to get his stats up on screen in a second when it all loads. Right. So, screen share, here we go. We'll get it up on screen, guys. Share screen. Dash. Here we go. Right, so Manchester United women in this game had 16 shots on goal, and Vålerenga had 3 shots on target. We had 7. Vålerenga had 1. Possession 69%, 31%. Passes 706, 327. Pass accuracy 89%, 74%. So quite close on pass accuracy. Fouls, we gave away 5. Vålerenga gave away 12. Yellow cards, none for us. 1 for Vålerenga. No red cards. 1 offsides for us. 0 for Vålerenga. 4 corners for us and 0 for Vålerenga. And this is the standings, after game 1. Of course, it's only game 1, people. So At the bottom, we have St. Pölten, or whatever they're called, in 18th. Then we have Bayern Munich women, who got absolutely dispatched during the week. Paris Saint-Germain women in 16th. Then Roma in 15th. Vålerenga 14th. Arsenal 13th. Benfica 12th. SC20 women 11th. Chelsea women 10th. Paris FC 9th. And no idea who they are, but they're in 8th. Man United women in 7th. Juventus women in 6th. Lyon women in 5th. Wolfsburg women in 4th. Real Madrid women in 3rd. Atletico Madrid women in 2nd. And top are Barcelona women on goal difference. So, and the lineups were, let's have a look at Manchester United women's lineup. Here we go. Let's see the formation Marc Skinner put out. So, we had in goal Joyce, and we had Renier in the defence, Letizia, who scored the penalty, Janssen, Sandberger, who scored that brilliant goal against Chelsea women. I mean, the Japanese player, Masawa. Then Jess Park, who came from Manchester City. Ella Toon, who got man of match. She's absolutely superb. Mallard. And then Turland. Where Turland actually could have put us in front in the first 30 seconds, but she just put her shot wide, which that's real unlucky, real unfortunate. That really was at the end of the day. So this is our formation, a 4-2-3-1 formation. So, yeah, Joyce in goal. She didn't really have a lot to do, to be honest, so wasn't really tested. And obviously, we did bring some subs on as well. Gabby George, who has been out with an injury, so it's great to have her back. Rothalo, she came back as well. She came on as a sub. Yeah, can't quite pronounce some of these names. So yeah, then obviously Vålerenga went with a 3-4-3 formation. So yeah, a winning start for Manchester United women, which is absolutely fantastic. It really is. Ethan talks sound more. Ethan, you mean? It's evening, Ethan, but maybe you're abroad or something. But yeah, here in the UK, it's evening. How are you, Josh? Can I hop on your line? I'm not doing the call-in show. This is just me talking about the game. What's up, mister? Big up to you, Michael. Good evening, mate. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. So Manchester United women, well and truly, worthy winners. They really are. So, yeah, I want to hear what Marc Skinner said after the game. So I'll just grab my personal phone and we can listen to him, people. Because he spoke to the media after the game. So, yeah, but I am happy we got the win. I really am. So, to me, that was the most important thing, people. So, yep, let's have a look. Marc Skinner's post-match interview. Here we go. Here we go. 19 minute. Well, 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
So, a victory here at LSB. How do you feel, Marc?
Feel really good for the victory. I felt that the players were started.
Hang on, I'll make the screen a bit bigger. Remove that now. There we go. Now you can see me and my background as well. There we go. Perfect. Let's carry on listening to Marc Skinner.
Our high speed probably should have taken our chances, which would have made the game a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I said, we did miss quite a few chances, which, you know, we should have scored a few more. So, yeah, I get where Mark Skinner is coming from there, people. I really do.
And they start cheating in position. But I thought Vålerenga were very organised, very structured, and hard to break down. But I think it was just a little bit of detail tonight that we'll work on. But it was great at the end. You said the second half.
I mean, it wasn't all plain sailing for Manchester United women, because I thought in the back we were very sloppy at times. So that's something we got to rectify in future games, because if we come up against a much stronger opposition, then we really are in a spot to bonkers. So, yeah, Mark Skinner's got to work on that. But, you know, going forwards, we look great, but sometimes we do look a bit nervous at the back. So, yeah, things definitely to work on still. But, you know, the start of the season we've had has been absolutely amazing. So, yeah. But a few more tweaks and that, then we could be perfect.
And as good as we were first half, but the players will know we need to fix that, want to work forward. But congratulations to everyone at the club. It's our first night in Europe and 3 points and a clean sheet. So congratulations to the team and well done to everybody involved.
Beforehand, we knew that Vålerenga could pose.
I'll do one some other time. I'm not watching that pointless England game. Don't blame you, Daniel Sorting. I mean, what's the point, mate? What is the fucking point? It's just a pointless match.
A threat that way in the way that they defend so aggressively, but with the way we managed to get a result, just shows the resilience of this team and how much we're willing to break down them.
Absolutely, and if you look, I've not seen the statistics yet, but I'm sure it was pretty dominant. I think even Fallon's not really had to make an important save. I think there's just details where there's moments we should be finishing the chances that we've created, and there's some lovely football. And of course, the game changes when they block and counter, and towards the end they throw caution, they cheat positions, naturally part of the game, and we had to defend resolutely. But that's us, isn't it? That's who we are.
It's who we are, mate.
Both ends of the pitch, and I'm really proud that my team can do that.
And this conversation right here, the way that we're craving more and expecting more from these players, just shows the high standards that Manchester United's women's team has.
You would have thought that we've been in Champions.
Yeah, but absolutely, you know, we do set the bar high because our women's team are elites.
Champions League for 20 years. That's how much we expect of each other. And that's okay. And that's okay to have high standards. And I want to say to my players,
absolutely. Because as a fan, even with Manchester United men, even though they're not showing elite high standards like what I'm showing, you know, I have very high standards, and I will forever hold Manchester United accountable if I don't think they're playing well.
And sometimes I don't look it, but I'm really proud of you. But we've got work to do, and we want to improve, and we want to win things.
Yeah, we do have work to do. Like I said last night, it wasn't all plain sailing because we did give away the ball cheaply a couple of times at the back. So, yeah, certain areas we still need to work on. But, you know, as the start of the season, you know, I'm absolutely over the moon, you know, because we've started this season off magnificently.
And that's, you know, it's a relentless attitude, but that's who we are, and that's what our team and our club's DNA is. So we've got work to do in this area, and you know, we bring up another tough challenge against Everton, but then again, Champions League next week is Atletico Madrid, and I think they've just won 6-0. So we've got work to do.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
So Ella, solid performance.
Ella, 2-man a match. Here we go. There, I can't wait to hear what she's got to say.
There. What did you think of that game?
Yeah, I think we were.
Looks like Ruben Amorim saying for number 3. I'm going to be talking about that later on down. I'll be doing another stream later, tearing at him a new asshole, honestly. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Why would anyone want to watch that pointless friendly? Does not mean anything. If it was a World Cup qualifier, Euros qualifier, I get it, but for a friendly, nah, it's just like, why? Why are you playing it for? Seriously. Ridiculous, people. Well, I mean, what are we doing here?
They dominated the ball. I think it's really difficult to break down a block. They were a very deep block and they were really good at it, to be fair. There wasn't a lot of space in behind. There wasn't a lot of space in the pockets, but we had to keep the ball and, not get bored of it. And that's what we did. There was a few times towards the end when our game management probably could have been a bit better, but it's something we'll learn from. And yeah, I think we can be really happy. It's our first Champions League game as a club, and yeah, we've got the win, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I just said there, this is such a great platform to build on now, isn't it? Yeah, it's really important. It was important that we got our Champions League off to a good start, and that was good tonight. We probed them. We had a lot of chances. And yeah, we had that little bit of luck that we got a penalty and may have put it in the net. So yeah, it's something we can really build on. We can learn a lot from. And these games are very different to WSL games. So yeah, it's about preparing differently and yeah, understanding the game and the game management of it as well. It's really important. This is part of the journey of creating history for the club in Champions League. Was it a pinch me moment being part of this? Yeah, finally, I've made my Champions League debut. Yeah, something I've always wanted to do. It's so special, and from being here right from the very start to winning WSL2, winning FA Cup, finishing up there in the league, and now finally starting our Champions League journey. I'm over the moon. It's a club that I've grown up supporting, grown up loving, and it's nice to be able to make that Champions League debut for United.
Yeah.
But then you tick this box now, but then it makes you want to crave even more Champions League football and see how far we can progress. Yeah, of course. And I think, we see the team, we see the start of the season that we've had, and it's been really good. We've really gelled nicely. We've done well in the WSL. Yeah, we've built platforms that we can really build on. And obviously, you want to win every game with Manchester United. You want to win trophies. You want to be involved in these competitions.
See, elite's mentality, yeah? Why can't the men's team have that? As our team says, we're Manchester United and we want to be winning stuff. See, the elite mentality. That is what separates Manchester United women and Manchester United men right now, people.
Footballers, you want to be, playing at the highest level, and tonight was definitely one of them games. So, yeah, we can be really happy with the performance we put on. But, yeah, we need to get our heads down, work hard, and prepare for the next one. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was Marc Skinner's post-match interview and other teams as well. So, but the Manchester United women being in the Champions League, it's absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's going to give the team so much experience. It really is. Now, I'm not expecting us to make the finals, semi-finals, anything like that. But, if we made the last 16 or quarter-finals, I'll be very happy about that. If we go further, then that would just be a dream come true. But, I just want us to go out there and kind of women to enjoy it, learn a lot from this experience. And, yeah, let's see how far we can get on in the competition. Big up to you, Adam Daw. Good evening, mate. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. If you sack Ruben Amorim, manager will have the same problem and issues. Yeah, true. But like I said, I'll be talking more about that a bit later on in the next stream, because I will be doing another one later on tonight, So, yeah, tear surgeon a new asshole, because clearly he doesn't want to win, does he? He wants to keep Ruben Amorim on for another 3 years. I mean, dear me, people. Seriously, imagine if he's staying for another 3 years. I mean, wow, unbelievable. But, like I said to Manchester United women, I just want us to get as far as possible. Like I said, I'm not expecting the semi-final or the final or anything like that. But the last 16 or in the quarter-final, that'd be absolutely amazing our first year in the Champions League. It really would, because obviously it's a completely different experience now for the women. They've never been in this situation in the Women's Champions League. I mean, we've been in the playoffs and that, but unfortunately, we've not been able to get over the line. But the fact that we're finally in the actual competition is a huge positive. It really is. And hopefully things will be going in the step of the right direction. Fair play, but I think Atletico Madrid away will be a lot harder and they will give you a better game. Oh, 100% Adam Daw. 100%, mate. That will be super tough for us. And I'm going to try and do a live watch along to that game. Definitely, 100%. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to make sure I'm free and I'm going to do a live watch along to it because that'll be a big game. That really will. That'll be a huge test for our women's team. And obviously, we got Paris Saint-Germain women as well, who got absolutely taken to the cleaners. I think, who was it they lost to? Was it against Wolfsburg women? But yeah, they got hammered last night, PSG women. Yeah, next Thursday, I think it is, Adam Daw. Our game against Atletico Madrid. Yeah, Wolfsburg women beat Paris Saint-Germain women 4-0. Yep, completely locks them up. I haven't saw highlights in that game at all, but I thought Paris Saint-Germain women would have won that game. Now, I've not really saw a lot of Paris Saint-Germain women, but all I know is they've got our ex-goalkeeper, Mary Earps, who used to play for Manchester United women. She now plays for Paris Saint-Germain women. But yeah, they got absolutely taken to the cleaners, Paris Saint-Germain women, by Wolfsburg. So could be an opportunity for us to get something against Paris Saint-Germain women. But again, we'll have to be on top of our game. But Atletico Madrid, oh boy, that's going to be tough. That really is, because they're coming off of the back of a 6-0 win. I'm sure that's next Thursday, isn't it? The 15th? Yes, 5:45. Yep. We will be there. I will be live for that one, people. By the way, it's going to be much more intense. It is, and it's going to be a huge test of character for our women's team. It really is, because we literally got over the line against this team, Vålerenga, but now against Atletico Madrid really will be a test of character for our women's team. I hope Manchester United men get Conference League football next season. I mean, can you imagine Manchester United men in that tournament? Seriously, in the Conference League. I mean, if we were in it, that's the only time I want us to be in it. An opportunity to complete the set, of course. But boy, oh boy, we'll be playing some pub teams in that competition if Man United men were in it. Seriously. But nah, I don't really want Conference League. I mean, ideally, I would rather have Europa League or the UCL. But at the moment, how inconsistent Manchester United men are, I don't think they'll be in Europe at all next season. I really don't, not unless they can go on a consistent run. But at the moment, there's no sign of that happening because Manchester United men are so inconsistent. Unlike the women who are absolutely landing it right now, still unbeaten in the WSL, won their opening game in the Women's Champions League. So, yeah, you can tell there's no comparison at the moment between Manchester United men and Manchester United women. The men, all they care about is just the money. They don't really care about performing out on the pitch for like the managers and that. Where the women, they care about the badge and they have the elite mentality. As Alatun says, we want to win everything. That is my proper number 7. Right there. Yes, people, a number 7 who has earned that Manchester United shirt instead of another number 7 who got given that number just for shirt sales and that. I mean, dear me. I think you all know who I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, Mason Mount. I mean, no disrespect to Mason Mount, but there's no way you should have got given that number 7 shirt straight away. I mean, That's a huge epic fail by this football club, seriously. But yeah, in that game against Atletico Madrid women, I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. I really am. You know, it's going to be a bloody epic game. Which video is that? I know you've been sending me a couple of videos on Twitter. I'll have a look. Hang on, let me go on my Twitter for a second. Here we go. Yes. Yeah, the last video you sent me was the Seville Barcelona highlights and Real Madrid against Villarreal. If Manchester United was in the Conference League, you could play your B team and it gives more of the young players an opportunity. True, like players from like the youth academy and that's a good point. Yes, I saw that in my inbox. Yeah. Yeah, Real Madrid, you know, winning their game and Barcelona obviously losing, which meant, you know, you can look after the stream ends. Yeah, I will do. 100%, I will do. But when I see the women's team play, you know, what I like about them is they're playing for the badge. They really are, you know. They are literally going out there, out on the pitch, giving it their 110%. Unlike the men who cannot go on a consistent run to fucking save their lives. Seriously, the men are an absolute disgrace. I mean, just always get behind the men, but I'm not enjoying watching them at all these days. I'm really not. To me, the women is where it's all about for me right now. And the men are just, they're so erratic, honestly. It's like, I wish Manchester United men could get back on track, but unfortunately, you know, we've been set back so many years by poor ownership, poor managerial decisions. I mean, look at Eric Ten Hag. He set our men's team back about 4 or 5 years, honestly, with the amount of rubbish he spent last year before he got sacked and that. So, and it's a bit like Manchester United women. If Ella Toon decided to leave one day, then Manchester United women will have to rebuild their team. But Turland, she's looked quite impressive, people. You know, I've been very impressed with Elizabeth Turland. And like I said, you know, she could have got the winner. Well, not got the winner, but she could have scored in the first 30 seconds of the game. I think it's a shot or a header she just put wide. I mean, imagine that going in front in the first 30 seconds. That would have been unbelievable. But Women's Champions League, you know, I've not watched a lot of the Women's Champions League, but I will be watching it a lot more this year because obviously Manchester United women are in it for the very first time. So, yeah, I'll be studying like the opponents and that, who I think are strong and not so strong. But like I said, the Spanish sides like Atletico Madrid women, Barcelona women, they are super, super tough to beat people in the women's game. Because like I said, Barcelona women, they just seem to have Chelsea women's number for some reason. I mean, it's crazy, absolutely crazy at the highest level. Wow. Unbelievable. But Manchester United women, you know, I'm loving what they're doing right now. And long may it continue. Whilst the men are doing absolute shambolic, right? The women are literally my therapy. They are the ones I can rely on happiness, where if you watch a men's game, you don't know what to expect, you know. You don't know whether they're going to win, lose. I mean, at times they can win games, but then they lose the game. You know, there's no consistency whatsoever with the men's team. There really isn't, you know, where with the ladies, you think, yes, we could win this game. So, and that is the attitude I miss feeling with the men. Because when we had Sir Alex Ferguson's manager, I think, that's 3 points in the bag, you know. But now it's like Manchester United, they lose matches you expect them to win, and they win or draw games you expect them to lose. Because it just goes to show that with the men's team, the players, they just don't care. They only turn up when they want to, where you see everyone out on that pitch, the Man United women, they are fully behind Marc Skinner. And Marc Skinner is adjusting his systems. You know, he plays different systems, unlike Ruben Amorim, who likes to fucking just stick to one system. And, you know, this is the difference between Marc Skinner and Ruben Amorim at the moment. It really is. So, and Marc Skinner's press conferences are a lot more exciting to listen to than Ruben Amorim's, you know, because with Ruben Amorim's, they're just full of banger mash waffle, you know. You get all these daft questions from these journalists, and yeah, it's not fun to listen to at all, people, you know, Ruben Amorim's press conferences. But I still do them. I still react to them because I know you guys enjoy them, and it's something for me to stream. But now we have started doing Marc Skinner's press conference reactions as well, which I think he's doing one for the Everton game tomorrow, which obviously he is. We'll be doing a live reaction to it, you know, because now with Marc Skinner, we're doing exactly the same as what we do with Ruben Amorim's press conference. So, yeah, because on here I cover both Manchester United teams. Whether you watch iWomen's content or not, you know, I'm really not bothered because this is a channel where I cover both Manchester United teams now, the men's and the women's. Obviously, I've been doing the men's a lot more longer than the women's, but the women's game is growing, people. And you're even seeing like YouTubers like Lee Gunner now do Arsenal women live watch-alongs. Roster Stocks is doing Manchester United women live watch-alongs. You know, African King, he's doing Chelsea women live watch-alongs. My geezer, Michael.ChelseaFC on Rumble, is doing Chelsea women live watch-alongs. So you can tell the women's game is definitely growing, people. Men's football is on the decline, where women's football is literally climbing and climbing. Because in the women's game, you don't get any PR or any like XG, GA or anything like that. In the men's game, you get PR, XG, GA. Obviously, the PR in the Premier League is an absolute disgrace, people. And it needs putting in the bin. And it needs the wooden spoon, seriously. The amount of times I gave PR and PSR and the wooden spoon, honestly, I absolutely hate it. You know, it's the worst thing what's ever happened in men's football in the Premier League. But in the women's game, thankfully, you don't get anything like that. And the men, as soon as the full-time whistle goes, they maybe clap their hands to the crowd and then bugger off down the tunnel. But with the women, they stay out and they even sign autographs as well. Like, sign your scarf you're wearing, sign a photograph or something. You know, that is the difference, again, between the men's game and the women's game at the moment. The men's game, you have all these bunch of players who just don't care, just go down the tunnel, don't appreciate the fans. But the women's game, they do appreciate the fans. You know, they stay behind and sign autographs and that. So as another example why women's football is on the rise, honestly. Will you be watching the England versus Wales derby friendly today? I mean, I might check out bits and pieces of it, but I'm not really excited for it. I'm really not. Women England international football got more trophy than the men. Yeah, the Lionesses. Yep, that's true. Yep, very true indeed. But yeah, you know, this news that Sir Jim wants Ruben Amorim to stay for another 3 more years. Like I said, I will be talking more about that tonight. You know, if that's the case, I'm really not happy about this at all. Just goes to show that Sir Jim is not serious with the men's team. Yeah, Sir Jim, just if he keeps Ruben Amorim on for this time, then he's not serious. He really isn't. And these ownership, they better not mess our women's team up because I will be absolutely fuming. I mean, our women's team have lost a couple players, like Alicia Russo, she went to Arsenal women, Mary Herbs went to Paris Saint-Germain women. So we have lost a couple players over the last couple of years, but I just hope they don't destroy it, seriously. Because if they destroy our women's team, I'll be fucking fuming. I really will, because right now they are my therapy people. They are in the Manchester United team. I can rely to give me some happiness. That really is the case. But yeah, I think about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, I'll be back with the other stream, talking about that game. Well, not the England-Wales game, but talk about, Ruben Amorim possibly staying for another couple years, I will be absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming if it happens. But yeah. But the women's team, we won 1-0 and won on our Champions League debut. So I'm happy about that. But the big test, people, is next Thursday against Atletico Madrid women. I mean, let's get it right. That will be an absolute blockbuster of the game. It really will. And yeah, of course, I've not done a live watch on before to a women's game. So yeah, that'd be history in the making. My first ever women's Manchester United women's live watch along on this channel. So it'd be brilliant. So we are going to be redirecting to AN Sports now. He's currently live. Make sure you are subscribing to AN Sports 7, people. He is nearly on 500 subscribers. So let's get him up there quickly to 500 subscribers. I want that boxed off very quick. Let's get him there, people. But yeah, like I said, I'll be back a bit later, talking a little bit about the news, getting my reaction to possibly Ruben Amorim staying. So yeah. But, Manchester United women, carry on doing what you're doing. I'm absolutely loving this start to the season. I really am. So AN Sports, make sure you are subscribing to him. Make sure you put Mr. Joshy J Raid. And like I said, I'll be back a bit later, people. So, yeah, I'll see you then. We're out of here, people. Bosh.